and GentleBots, welcome back to the Shuntcast. This week, BattleBots enters the round of 32, and therefore all jokes, banter, silliness, puns, and general debauchery is off the cards. We must be terribly sensible now and commence proper technical fight analysis, insightful commentary, and informative discussion. I'm bullshitting. There's no way I'm keeping up this accent for the whole Shuntcast. Hey, Dale!
What?
It's the round of 32!
You're not wrong.
I'm not, am I? It's BattleBots episode 11, ladies and gentlebots, and we're gonna have a little chat about it, because that's what we do here on the Shuntcast. Who is first, Dale?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Sarah. First up, we've got Mad Catter against Tombstone.
I was a little bit disappointed with the tombstoning on this episode.
Yes, it wasn't all that.
I can't believe I've said that, but I have to be honest, and
Yes.
and that is my honest take on the tombstone Farouking. It's not Farouk, because Farouk is just amazing, and you know he does what you give him. So I blame the writers and not Farouk. But sorry, there was an actual fight that happened here, so I should probably talk about that. I mean, I feel like if I put bets on the fight beforehand, I probably would have given it to Tombstone, but I actually would have had a little bit of a tough time because Mad Catter has been doing very well, and it is very well driven by Calvin as well. So I would have probably gone with Tombstone, but I would not have felt 100% confident on it. No, I wouldn't have, if it was Tombstone versus Slapbox, it would have been confidently Tombstone. But Tombstone, Mad Catter, it's Tombstone, but it's not fully confident Tombstone. And to be fair, Mad Catter put on a brilliant show in this. It was not going down, but Ray was like, this is the top 32 now. I'm putting you down.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I want to make a little mention at the start of the fight with the pre-fight interview and Martin Mason again. I have to go there. The line, "We're going to have a tea party and we're serving tombstones," was just brilliant. I love it.
You are such a Martin Mason fanboy. It's so funny.
Yes, proudly so. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just, can we get an F as well, by the way? No more Martin Mason in the series.
Yes, that's true. You're not going to be able to see Martin Mason again until next year. Are you very sad?
I'm quite sad, but anyway, back to the fight. Yeah, Mad Catter took some hits. They were nice. And I had
gave some hits as well. It took it to Tombstone. It was not being a coward.
Yeah, I mean, Tombstone got wobbly for a minute or two. Well, not literally a minute, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there was genuinely a couple of moments where I thought, ooh, Mad Catter might have this. It wasn't... I don't think you spent the whole fight thinking Mad Catter is going to get slaughtered by Tombstone. There were some moments throughout it where you thought, ooh, this could go either way.
Yeah, but it got to the point where it slowed down and it went to that last little crawl, and it was just like, I'm not giving up, and it's got that one last hit, and then it's all done.
Yeah, once that drive started to slow down, and Tombstone's drive hadn't, or its spinner, you were just like, yeah, okay, now we know where this is going.
You want some more? One more, that's it, done.
Mad Catter has now lost all its lives.
Oh dear, that was...
So, who was next?
Next was Uppercut against Hijinks. And can I just say, holy shit. That one hit, that was, oh dear.
Oh Dale. Oh, dear. I mean, you blinked and you missed this fight.
Yeah.
Not including the ref count out, I'd like to know how quick this fight ended, because if you take it from the point at which Hijinks got yeeted out of the arena, and ignore the count out and just take it from there. I mean, it can only have been about 11 seconds in, can't it? It was so quick.
Yeah. I wish there was more on the fight to talk about, to be fair, because all I had written down was Jen's shocked face and Orion's face next to her with it was a look of, fuck, we're out, but that was a hell of a way to go.
Also true. It was quite sort of like, well, that happened, and we're out. But
yes.
I mean, we definitely, on the one hand, if you're going to go out, you might as well go out very convincingly, because you don't want to go out on like a salty or controversial judge's decision or something like that, because you'll spend the rest of your life feeling hard done by. But when you've got pelted out of the arena by uppercut like that. I mean, there's literally no arguing. Yep, okay, we're out of the tournament now.
Pretty much. And I'd also like to add here, if in honour of this fight being a bit too short, I'd like to say I did some research on owls, if you'd like to hear some facts.
Okay, go on then.
Right, number one, did you know that male owls don't try to gain the love or affection of a female owl in the rain? They say it's too wet to woo. Oh dear. I got another one if you want it.
Oh God.
Scientists have done some tests and found out that owls have a favourite band, The Who.
Can I tell you a fact? And it's genuinely a fact. A single owl does not twit and twoo. One twits and the other twoos, and it is the female that calls the male the twit. Thought you'd all like to know that. Shall we move on to Beta versus Ribbot?
Yes, let's do that. Yes.
So it would appear that Verts are John's nemesis, which is we'll get an F in the chat for John, because there's rather a lot of Verts at BattleBots, and you did quite well to avoid them up until this point.
I was going to say, you could say he waited for a good Ribbit.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm on form today, people.
Oh, you are. I'm going to have to do something about you later.
Oh, yeah.
I must admit, my British loyalty did not supersede the fact that I had Ribbot down for this fight. I just thought John's armor's just not going to stand up to it, and the hammer I don't think is powerful enough to cause significant damage to Ribbot. On the other hand, John is a very good driver, so he maybe could have got it on some very good driving, but that didn't happen. So there's that.
I was equally surprised and kind of expected it, to be fair. It was one of those ones where I wasn't going to be that shocked if Ribbot did win, but I wasn't going to expect Beta to win.
I must admit, I'm feeling good for the Ribbot team now, though. I mean, because Beta is a veteran of the sport, and it's always good to beat a veteran. I mean, for morale boosting purposes at the very least, and to get a convincing win over a veteran robot like that is great. So well done, Ribbot. Well, and I'm quite affectionate to Ribbot, actually, because we've had quite a few puns at Ribbot's expense.
Yes, congratulations. Congratulations. Oh dear.
I'm going to try and forget all of these puns that you've made, and hopefully John's robot will do Beta next season.
Totally.
We'll move on to Huge versus Whiplash. I thoroughly enjoyed this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this last year as well, and this was just more of the same. I can't explain what it is, but just Whiplash driving and just Huge being Huge. You can't go wrong.
This was just another Matty Vasquez masterclass in driving. I mean, we have had some absolute feats of amazing driving out of him this season, but for me, this fight just topped it as well. And if he's going to get better still, holy shit. I mean, it certainly gives credit to the fact that he's accused of being born with a transmitter in his hands. I mean, and not just that. I mean, a fight with Huge in it is always entertaining unless Hydra's involved. But we'll gloss over that. But unless Hydra's involved, a fight with Huge is always very entertaining. And so I was looking forward to this match anyway, because Huge is entertaining and Matt's a great driver, so I was looking forward to this anyway, and I did not come away disappointed. Oh, it was so much fun, and Matt was so aggressive, and Huge was still trying. Like, I don't think Huge gave Whiplash an easy time of it at all, and it was a real back and forth, lots of attack, and it went the distance as well. I love it when a fight goes the distance. I don't care for knockouts necessarily all the time. I just want to watch a bloody enjoyable fight. And I was very happy to watch a full 3 minutes of Whiplash amazing driving from Matt, and just Huge doing what it does best and being this massive, gangling yet terrifying thing that it is. And I loved everything about this fight. It was so good.
Yes, I mean, I did find it quite amusing at the end how tired Huge looked, and it went limp. I mean, after the 3 minutes. Going limp. No, you know the legs, the support legs.
Oh, yeah, they were looking a bit wibbly wobbly, weren't they?
Yes.
I just wanted to say wibbly wobbly.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'll let you say it next week as well, no matter what happens.
Okay.
You get a wibbly wobbly for next week.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's very nice of you, Dale. Thank you.
Yes.
Quite touched by that. But never mind. We're going to move on to Valkyrie versus Sub-Zero. This was a much better outing for Valkyrie compared to their fight against Whiplash. I mean, though, having said that, I mean, it's Whiplash, so we can forgive them for that. But this was again, it was Valkyrie on form, which is what I love. I adore Valkyrie. I want it to do well, and I love it when it has fights like this where it does well. I mean, it ripped the arse end off Sub-Zero. That was just beautiful, beautiful. Off with his arse.
Yes.
Lovely.
I do want to point out just quickly before the fight, the Kenny did mention about being selective about when to fire the flipper for Sub-Zero, which called back to earlier with John Reed's wait for a good hit, but the better version of it. So that
wait for a good flip.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, no, I mean Sub-Zero using the eat my arse strategy, and it worked for a while.
And then it
nice.
didn't.
Yeah. And then Valkyrie just ripped his face off.
Yeah. Thank you, Valkyrie. That was nice of them. No, I mean, to be fair, it's the top 32, and if you're going to get your face ripped off, that's the place to do it.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this fight. It was a good back and forth as well, and Sub-Zero did not go down that easily. It took the fight to Valkyrie, and it was thoroughly enjoyable fight. And I love seeing Valkyrie on form. More Valkyrie on form, please. More of it. So who's next?
Up next, we have Malice versus Gigabyte.
I have to admit, I have Malice down to win this one because Gigabyte is not overly reliable. It's more reliable than Captain Shredderator, which, to be fair, isn't hard. But it's still not the most overly reliable robot. It's terrifying when it is on form and it's working. I mean, have you seen some of the damage shots from Malice's spinner? It's insane.
That would.
But I must admit, I had Malice to win this because Malice has been more reliable, if anything, and it is very well driven. It's got a pretty nasty spinner on it. So yeah, I must admit, this didn't go the way I thought it would go. I have to admit, I'm sad that Malice isn't in the competition anymore. Also, and my son is a big Malice fan. He's a big Bunny fan as well. My little boy very much loves Bunny. So he's sad that they're out the country. Gigabyte is now the enemy.
And also,
so it joins Uppercut because Uppercut beat up Sorbley, so Uppercut is the enemy as well. And now Gigabyte is the enemy for my 8-year-old. Oh.
Yeah, but can we also have an F for no more David face?
Oh, I know. No more David face.
Yes. Or David face, or David face, or David face, or David face.
Don't forget David face.
Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or David face, yeah.
Wait, I think we forgot one more David face.
And Bunny as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bunny's there as well. Can't forget
yeah.
Bunny. My son will be so cross. I'm sad Malice is out. I've been enjoying watching Malice this season. It's been pretty entertaining. I mean, his first fight straight out the bat, it blew Axe backwards up. So it's amazing.
Yes.
And it also had a silly loss where it got beached on its butt as well. And that as annoying as that is, because I have lost via getting beached on the butt before, so I know how that team feels. But at the same time, I find it highly entertaining that they went from having an explosive win against something like Axe Backwards and then just had the silly loss of getting beached on its butt. It's just they're just for entertainment value. I love it. And their merch game is it's so hard. The merch game is on form this season, and now they've just made it worse and added technical T-Rex stuff as well. I mean, just F for our wallets, Dale. F for our wallets.
Yes, I'm very tempted to go and get 2.
That leaves us with Hydra versus Hypershock. I can't really call it the main event anymore because it's not fight nights, but it was the last fight of the night, so it's main event-ish.
In quotation marks.
I would not have liked to place bets on how I thought this would have gone. I thought it could go either way. I think a lot of fans were probably hoping, I mean, especially if you're a huge fan and you were salty about the bike rack, you were probably very much hoping that Hydra got a good punting at the hands of Hypershock. But I mean, Hypershock lost convincingly to Hydra, but at the same time, it did not go down hard. It still took the fight to Hydra. Will did exactly what he said he was going to do. He did patient, but still very skilled driving. I mean, this was an excellent driving match as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I love the sportsmanship at the end. You know, go on, Jake, one more flip, whee, out the arena. Why not? It's great. I'd done the same thing, to be honest. If I was that's it. I'm about to be counted out against Tombstone or something like that. Go on, Ray. Go for the face. Why not?
Yes. Well, I thought it was flipping good this fight.
We've not made that joke before, Shuntcast.
Yeah, I know, but got to go with what I can. But yeah, no, the amount of flips or the amount of timed Hypershock spins after each flip doesn't really do the weight of the robot justice, if you see what I mean. Like, these are heavy things, and it just looks like it weighs nothing.
Yeah,
it's
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's weird, because it's only once you've seen heavyweight robots or been near them that you actually get a sense of how big these are. And to see it flip 3 or 4 times effortlessly, it's like, what the fuck? But also at the end of the after the fight interview, F for Jake suffering with a sticky valve.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, my brain went filth. It's your fault after your comment about Beta last week.
I'm still blaming you because I've been around you too much, and you're a bad influence on me.
The audience believes you, Dale. The audience believes you. Right, now we missed out Slammow versus Black Dragon for a reason, and that's because we have Craig Danby on the show. Hey, Craig!
Hola, ¿qué tal?
How are you?
I'm alright. It's bright, sunny, but freezing cold here.
Where you've become a traitor to the Brits and swanned off across to America. Where in America are you living now?
You call me a traitor, but I would say that I'm probably an indentured servant at this point. Particularly with the long list of things I have to do from my wife. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, so I'm about 4 hours south of Washington, D.C.
Okay. So, what was your reaction to being drawn against Black Dragon?
So they put up the fights on Discord. We had this hyper secret Discord channel, and they put the fights up around about 3 o'clock in the morning. So,
oh yes, Ricky mentioned this.
It's fantastic, but I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, having the day before fought Witch Doctor, and in the Witch Doctor interview, they did it twice, where they said, "You're in the top 32," and I was like, "Oh, I am? Amazing!" Then they went back and came back and said, "Okay, so how do you think you're going to do? Do you think you're going to make the top 32?" I was like, "Well, I just got told I was in. Am I not in?" So at 3 o'clock in the morning, not knowing whether I was in or not, I checked it, and I didn't see us. I missed us completely. So I was like, "Oh, we didn't make the top 32. Oh well." So I went back to sleep, and it wasn't until I woke up in the morning to a bunch of Brazilians telling me that they were looking forward to fighting me. I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So my initial reaction was confusion. I was like, "No, we're not in the top 32." And then, oh, no, yeah, there we are. 28? Are you kidding me? But the Brazilian guys were right by the door. So as we walked in, we knew exactly what setup they were going for. And yeah, at that point, it was like, well, we're fucked.
I mean, I'll be fair. Slammow did not go down that easily. Like, you went down, but I don't think you went down embarrassingly. If I had that performance out of Nelly, I'd be freaking delighted.
A noble loss.
Yeah.
I'll take a noble loss. We kind of knew. So Witch Doctor obviously hit us head on down the front, and it shot the side of the robot completely off and into the back wheel. So we knew that we had to protect the front of the wheel guards just to stop that from happening. because as everybody seems to do, I've got like a $10,000 BattleBot, and I'm using $10 wheels because
Why not?
Why not, right? You spend all that time and money on something to get hit by Tombstone, but the wheels can't take a hit. So, so we begrudgingly opted to go for the wedge. We wanted to go for the forks. Well, no, I wanted to go for the wedge, and Randy and Matt wanted to go for the forks. I said, if I can get them moving, I can get them to gyro. If I can get them to gyro just once, I can get underneath them, and all I've got to do is get underneath them and pin them against the wall, and I can have them. But I knew going in, it's like it's a 1 in a million shot, and you never, if you can pull it off, it'll be the victory of the day. But so we had some build up to the fight. We get to the arena, and the Black Dragon guys roll in, we roll in, and they turn the robot on, drive to the square. And the lights drop. As you know, when the lights drop, it's just a little bit of time before the lights drop and you actually start the fight. So if the lights drop, they start panicking and calling for the fight to be stopped because their weapon speed controller hasn't booted up. So they haven't got a weapon. So they come back to the corner and we come back to the corner and they start it up again. And we go back out into the arena and the lights drop again. And as the lights drop again, they start banging on the Lexan going, stop, 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 stop. We're like, again? Really? Are you kidding me? So back to the corners we go, and the lights drop as we go back into the squares, and their production are really like, okay, let's get on with this now. So third attempt, the lights drop, and they bang on the glass as soon as the lights drop, and they're like, no, the weapon's not working. So production goes over and like, what the hell's going on? So they go back to the pits, and they fix the robot over lunch, and I can't eat because I'm so wound up. I've just got to get this fight over with now.
Yeah.
So we go into the arena, and off we go. Finally, they got it all working. Into the arena, start it up. 3, 2, 1, off we go. And the very first thing is, I've got to get him to spin and turn. So I'm trying to get him to like bob and weave, and I get him like in the first 15 or so seconds or so. I got him up, and I got underneath him, and I tried to tip him, and he got away.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going to, unless I'd have to get really lucky to get a back or side shot on him to get him again. So I kept trying to aim for that, and it just didn't work. And every time he came, there was one moment where we went head to head, and we didn't quite go up the wedge. And I'm trying to push, and he's trying to push, and then all of a sudden something slipped, and up we went. And that was the middle of the wedge gone. And that was it. From there on, it was... wasn't damage limitation, but it was still trying to go back to that tactic of getting side on or getting behind them, and they're just so quick. We just couldn't catch them. Paul Ventimiglia is wrong. 11 miles an hour is not fast enough for a BattleBot, not a control bot anyway. So fuck you, Paul.
Okay, no one's ever said "fuck you" outright to a roboteer on this show before. Thank you, Craig.
That's no problem, and hopefully he takes it as the joke that it's meant to be as well.
Oh dear. I think the only one we genuinely are a little bit mean to is Brian Narve, but Brian Narve's a big boy and he can take it.
Yeah.
We'll move on. I mean, you must be so proud of how you've done though this year. I mean, because previous seasons, some of your robots have had absolutely rotten luck, and to come back this season and have some of the fights that you've had, like especially the one with Witch Doctor. I mean, that was amazing, I'll be honest. And not just because I'm still laughing my head off at Witch Doctor driving into the wall, but that fight was awesome. And so, you've been a real comeback this season. You must still be really proud of how you've done.
In hindsight, I remember being at the time feeling like a complete failure, given that we were probably one of the first big corporate sponsors of the reboot. We completely rebranded everything, so there was kind of a bit of pressure from sponsors and BattleBots to make sure that we didn't, because they also sponsor the show, so don't look like a dick, don't make us look stupid. So I've had it. Somebody said that we got softball fights. Well, considering our first 2 years at BattleBots, we fucking sucked, quite frankly. So they were always going to give us not an easier opponent, but another debut bot. Pain Train. And I'm telling you, Pain Train sounds just like Toro when you're stood next to it. It's terrifying. And I think if he could get his drive dialed in, he'll be a contender.
Yeah, we said that. If he gets that drive dialed in, that drum is quite nasty. Although he does need to also stop the front falling off.
Yeah. So after the fight with when they fought Smee, Anthony from Pain Train comes up to me and he goes, "Here's the bearings you destroyed." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, we didn't notice the bearings were destroyed. We think that's why the weapon fell out." I was like, "Oh, sorry, mate." So that was good of him. But yeah, no, we did a lot better than we did with Foxtrot and Predator. Predator was just an outright disappointment. I mean, I haven't touched it since probably the week or so after it came back from BattleBots.
It breaks my heart because it's a beautiful robot.
It looks so much better now. I've taken all the paint off it as well. You know, the bare metal look that it's got. It's still, I've still got all of the speed controllers. And it's even got batteries still in it. I could go and turn it on and drive it around the garage now. And then Foxtrot. Foxtrot is my coffee table. I bought a 2 foot by 3 foot glass top, and I made it so that the arm was stuck up at a certain angle where the head was perfectly flat, and it holds up the coffee table. So.
Oh, it makes me think of like one of those clickbait articles. Like, ever wondered what happened to this robot? Here it is now.
As a coffee table.
That's lovely. Well, we actually had quite a lot of fan questions submitted for you, and some of them cover stuff that we'd normally talk about anyway. So I'm going to tuck straight into those.
Okay.
Right. First up, Sam Taylor would like to know if Slammow had a mini bot, what would it be called?
It was called Slammow Sheen.
Oh,
a little Lamasheen.
Oh, very good.
Very good. Very good.
Oh dear. Craig Skinner asks, of all the World Wrestling Championships, which belt do you think would look best on Slammow?
The hardcore title, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I know nothing about wrestling, so I'm sorry. This one's a little lost on me. Sorry, Craig Skinner. My teammate Rara offers this conundrum. What is Slammow's favourite suplex? Is it a German or maybe a traditional vertical?
Well, I've had it called a German suplex from Slammow, but I believe it's more of a snap suplex.
I'm going to pretend I know what she's talking about.
That's fine.
And nod and
pass
agree.
that one on to Rara.
Oh dear. Chris Warmsley asks, how do you think Whammo's performance would have compared to Slammow's?
It was all brushless and experimental, so it probably would have sucked ass.
Well, it's better than having your ass ripped off like Sub-Zero, but...
Hey, Logan worked really, really hard on that.
I know, but it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment.
Absolutely.
It's
fantastic.
It's one of our nominations later for the Good Hit of the Night Award, but we're not there yet. We have a question from Jeremy Hall. He'd like to know who you most wanted to fight this season.
Hypershock.
Of course.
Will and I are quite good friends, I guess, as far as friends can be. We have plenty of shenanigans in mind for if we ever do get to fight. We're going to swap robots. I'm going to go in place of him in his ring walk, and he's going to go in place of me in my ring walk. And we're going to change gear, and I'm going to drive Slammow from the Hypershock thing, and then at the end of it, I'm going to be interviewed as Will Bale, and he'll be interviewed as me.
Does that mean Will Bales is going to do the little Danby shuffle from Robo Games?
He's going to have to. I'll teach it him.
Excellent.
6 months solid practice.
Roger Mail asks, how does competing on BattleBots compare to competing on Robot Wars?
It's a lot. Robot Wars is a lot faster. So once you get past the first round in Robot Wars, you fight 2 or 3 times a day, depending on the filming schedule. Whereas at BattleBots, you'll fight once a day. So this year, we literally fought every single one of the first 5 days. So you have a bit more time to turn the bot around, but the damage you get is a lot bigger at BattleBots. We took three Slammows complete to BattleBots, and we only used 1.
Wow.
So we should have used more. We should have swapped robots. So much effort.
Liam Ayland says he thought Slammow was pretty entertaining and would like to know if you were happy overall with how it performed.
For the most part, internally, yeah, drive never stopped. The weapon only stopped once, and that was in the Black Dragon fight. And you can see, so we use one receiver per speed controller, and I got telemetry, and I could see the voltage drop on channel 4, the rudder channel, which is what I use for my weapon. I watched it go from a solid 5 volts down to 3, 2, 1, and stop as it was self-writing. So it's like, well, fuck.
Oh dear.
Yes, F. Greg Sover asks if it is frustrating going up against so many birds.
Yeah. There was somebody sent me a meme of oops, all vertical spinners. I was like, yep, every single one of them. So if Greg is listening, not no more, but less, like maybe one less vertical spinner, please, just one.
John Reed agrees with you. Sam Robbins would like to know, how well do you think Slammow would do if you entered it into the new Robot Wars?
Well, in place of Foxic, I think it would have at least won its heat. If we'd have done Foxic Series 9 heat, it most likely would have won its Series 8. If it had gone in place of Apex in Series 10. Probably not. Terahertz was kind of a bit of a beast that year, so...
it wouldn't have helicoptered.
It wouldn't have helicoptered. I did try, but it's been fast enough.
I mean, if you're going to go, that's a way to go.
It's memorable.
And so memeable, which is what we love here on Sean Posting.
We do, yes. Dave Wang asks if we will see Whammo in combat next season.
Not on BattleBots. If Jono probably Jono. He's the only one with the spin arena. If Jono holds an event, you'll see him compete over there. There are 3 versions of Whammo, Apex, and another version of Apex/Whammo that Chris has been working on because he is a nerd and hasn't stopped building anything. So there's a shuffle Apex. There's the more traditional looking Apex, which is all brushless, and there's the walking Apex that we kind of have started, but I don't think that's going to fight this year. I think maybe it will walk this year. We'll see.
I love how you're learning to walk and shuffle after you learnt to fly. That's lovely.
Well, I mean, you got to land somehow, right?
Very true. Mary Catherine Carr has a very hard-hitting question. What is your lawn gnome's name?
His name is Alexander Slammington.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. Not much to add there, really, but yes. Adam Matthew Peckett would like to know, which would be easier to control out of Foxtrot, Apex, and Slammow?
I've never actually driven Apex, but it looks like it's a pain in the ass to drive.
Or fly.
Or fly. It needs a tail fin to help keep it in control when it's flying. Maybe we'll work on that.
Talk to hijinks about that.
Maybe. But they were out of control as well. So
they did get yeeted. That was quite funny.
Toxic drifted really nicely, but Slammow is more controllable, but it's too slow. Probably Slammow because it always worked, whereas Fox kind of didn't sometimes.
Mm.
Probably Slammow.
Fair enough. Kyle from Behind the Bots says, amazing job, mate. 10 out of 10. Will recommend Slammow fights in future. And he asks, will you be adding or subtracting any configurations for next season?
That's a good question. Pandemic hit and I had a lot of time. So I ended up building 36 different weapon configurations, 18 lowers and 18 uppers.
Wow.
That were completely different. And then we went to ship everything, and we were over the weight limit by quite a lot. So we had to cut it down to 6 lowers and 6 uppers. So we kind of just went, okay. And I left my really good anti-vert setup at home and took one that I didn't want to use, but we ended up using against Witch Doctor. I think probably we will drop down to 6, and maybe I'll sell some of the unused ones. Maybe I can do it for charity or something.
Well, you know, I'm the person to hit up about that. Anything charity related, hit me up.
All right, I'll let you know.
Sweet.
Louis Wood asks, did you think you had Black Dragon at any point? No doubt Slammow had a chance, but I couldn't see it coming back once the wedge buckled.
We only really have one shot. They're such a good team with they're such good drivers, and they know exactly what they're doing. So we had to get them to the point where they would underestimate us, and the only time we were going to do that would be to get them to gyro up so that we could get underneath them. That only happened the once. Like we knew it would only happen once. So that happened roughly in the first 15, 20 seconds. And at that point, if we'd have been faster, we could have followed up and got them over, got them pinned, got them picked up and thrown out of the arena. And that was the moment that we missed. And we missed it for all of the reasons that I said. We were too slow. We had the wrong setup in reality. And there's a lot of frustration that goes with it. You know, it wasn't that we weren't prepared. It was that we had incorrectly prepared, I think is the best way to do it. So I think we did, but it was a fleeting moment. It felt a lot longer on the day.
Yeah.
But I don't remember any of the fights. And so when I saw it back on TV, that's the first time I'd seen it. So
yeah. You get post-fight blur, don't you?
Absolutely. I live in the moment. I know what happened. I know if we win or we lose. But I don't. There was just that one moment at the beginning. And I think if we'd have been faster, even with the wedge setup, I think we could have got them. But we didn't. We missed it. And, you know, I blame myself for it. So if I'd have been faster on the controls, or if I'd have been a little bit better on catching them, I think we could have got them. But obviously we didn't.
Do you know what's a really good way to remember your fights? I thoroughly recommend this, not entirely seriously. Is get your face smashed in. That's what I do. Can't forget that.
I've had that with against Death Roll and Foxtrot. I remember that fight.
Yeah, I definitely didn't forget those when I came out. What happened in that fight? Face smash. Bye face. Last question. If you were going to be stranded on a desert island and could only take one builder with you, who would it be?
Randy Farmer, which is the best name in the world.
I know, right?
He's just he's so well prepared for absolutely any possibility. It'd have to be Randy.
I mean, with a surname like Farmer, going with an adjective was brave of his parents.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's not a thing over here, the word Randy. So, there's a guy that I work with, and his name is Randy, and I'm like, cool. You couldn't work for me in England.
Right, we are going to play a little game of Beat, Defeat, Judges. It's like Snog, Barrier, Void, but less creepy and more robots. It was invented by one of our 3 listeners, Sam Taylor, last season. No, sorry, that's generous. That's double our listenership. I'm kidding. So, obviously, your robot is Slammow, and your 3 opponents for this are Black Widow, Malice, and Beta.
Black Widow. I'm writing this down. Malice.
He's doing a Jake Dale.
No.
Right. Okay.
Taking it seriously.
I'm gonna go beat Beta because Gabe has never beaten me. Defeat Malice because Bunny would kick my ass in or out of the arena. I'll take Black Widow for judge's decision.
Oh, there we go. He's taking this very seriously, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Good Hit of the Night award. We have a couple of nominations, but do you have any you'd like to give first? Ultimately, it's your choice, but we'll keep quiet if you have one you particularly want to shout out to.
There's 2. I really liked my backflip from Black Dragon, but for me, the hit on Hijinks from Uppercut was pretty fantastic.
It was. That is also one of our nominations. So we had Tombstone takes all of Mad Catter's lives, because it did kind of beat up Mad Catter. The yeeting of Hijinks, and also Valkyrie to Sub-Zero off with its arse. So
As much as I love both Valkyrie and Sub-Zero, it's got to be the uppercut.
the yeeting of hygiene.
The yeeting.
Uppercut has racked up a few good hit awards on this show now. This is, I think, it's definitely its second. It may be its third.
Well, I'm not having that. I'm not having them win all the time. So let's change it. Let's go for Sub-Zero and Valkyrie then.
Oh, fair enough. Valkyrie, I don't think has a good hit. Oh, don't know. Did it get the one? Did it get the one with Rotator? We just gave it to the whole fight, or was that the week that Sawblaze got blown up?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Fuck it. We'll go with Valkyrie. To be fair, Uppercut has had a couple of awards before. So, in a last-minute change of heart, congratulations, Valkyrie, for ripping off Sub-Zero's ass. You get the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for with Craig. So, Craig, thank you so much for being with us. Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give out before you go?
Nope.
No, well, that's bloody easy, isn't it? I want to thank my mom, my dad, my...
Nope, screw him. Fuck him.
Not even Chris?
No, screw him.
What about Sam Price, your former teammate?
Oh, Sam. Sam's not listening, so don't worry about that.
Oh, he is.
Hey, Sam.
I actually... Oh, hang on. Because I messaged him earlier and said, do you have a question for Craig? Come on, give a question for Craig. Craig will enjoy it. And Sam has been really reliable and replied, sorry, I've been on a call all day, forgot.
Good old Sam.
So, so yeah. Go.
He's too
Tell
busy
Sam
shrekking
off.
himself.
Well done. There you go, Sam. Stop shrekking yourself and talk to Craig. Oh, there we go. Craig, thank you so much for being on the show.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye.
Doodles.
That sound means it's time for the Builders Playlist. Rara, you here?
I hope so.
I mean, if you're not, that's quite worrying.
I'll double check. Yep, I'm here.
Sweet. Al, are you here?
Hey.
Hey. Okay, we will dive straight into it. First up, Leo Lee suggests Panic Attack by Dream Theater. Here we go.
Why do I feel so numb? Is it something to do with where I come from? Should this be fight or flight? I don't know why I'm constantly so uptight.
Now, Al, I thought you might be a Dream Theater fan, but it turns out you're not much of one, are you?
I really want to be, honestly, but I just can't. I have the one album that I don't remember the name of that everybody kind of had when they first hit it big way back 100 years ago. I've always found them stuck in the middle of genres or something, which normally I like. I do like that aspect of them, that they're not easily categorized, but generally they're too proggy for me. The riffs and everything, it's kind of a little choppy. I do like the vocals. You know, I like vocals, and he's always been very good. I can't get into them. I don't know.
I'm bored by them. It's another one that I'm just kind of bored by. I like his voice. I just don't like the songs that much. I don't hate them, but I'm just they're a bit meh. It's not worth that.
I came to a very similar conclusion of like, yeah, this is something that I wouldn't be unhappy if it was on, but I also wouldn't choose to put it on myself. Although, super fitting name. Gotta give him that. Super fitting name.
I do like the name. I think they're a bit overrated. I've got a couple of friends who are really into them, but I see that there's this hype about them, and I'm not on board with it. I mean, it's not to say that I would take away anybody else's enjoyment of them, but I personally don't understand that hype, because they kind of bore me a little bit.
I get that impression too. It's one of those. I think it's one of those metal bands that if you really want to call them a metal band, which I'm okay with. I'm not going to argue with you if you call them metal, but they, for some reason, they were kind of chosen at the time, like, oh, maybe this will be the big crossover metal band that'll bring metal mainstream, and we're going to push them. And same thing, I've always been a little bored.
Yeah.
I mean, it hits pretty hard. It's got a good riff to it. It's got some really nice, guitar to it. But yeah, I'd be okay if it was on, but I wouldn't put it on personally.
So what's the verdict, Al?
I'm going to pass on this one.
Fair enough. Sorry, Leo, it's a pass on this one. But we can tell from his analysis that he doesn't hate it more than Pantera. So there's that.
No, we're not even close to that.
So second up, Toby Himmelberger has suggested a song which he thinks should accompany a Chomp versus Blacksmith fight, which would be a pretty epic duel, I think. So here we go. This is In the Dawn of the AI by Auden Organ.
Mind of man, fire in the sky. I've been waiting for you. On this day we die. It is the mind of man, fire in the sky. I've been destined for you. In the dawn of the AI.
That was pretty good. I quite like this one, actually. I agree with the description of it. I think it would pretty much fit a Chomp Blacksmith Hammer duel.
I like the song, and I also love Toby's surname as well. I'm sorry, I want to get Himmelberger. That's amazing. I'm sorry. Side note. I quite like the song. It's not my usual style, but I was listening to it and quite enjoying it, actually. So Al, what did you think?
Interesting timing on this one, because I've come across these guys semi-recently. I don't know how new they are. I'm in the process of deciding if I like them or not. I think they have some prog to them, but they're definitely at least a full step closer to power metal than like say Dream Theater. So I've liked them so far. I do like this song. So, and the vocals are very good, so that's always a plus with me. So I'm going to continue to check these guys out.
I feel if it had an additional choir, then I would say absolutely it would be the Chomp Blacksmith fight, because I feel like because of the technology in Chomp and the AI feel to this song, it's definitely got Chomp down, but I feel like it needs a bit more old school to it as well to fully encompass the blacksmith in this as well. So like if there was a choir or something as well, then it would be ideal. So what I'm saying is, I'm sorry, Toby, I don't necessarily agree that it would be the perfect accompaniment to a Chomp Blacksmith fight for that stupid nitpicky reason, which I'll take that. It's a petty reason, but I do like the song. Do you like it enough to put it in the Builders playlist, Al?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this one.
Yes. I liked it. Rara, you liked it too, didn't you?
No, like I said, I quite liked this. It wasn't what I was expecting from the title either as well. I don't know why I expected something slightly different, but I went in with a sort of certain expectation and it was completely changed. I quite like it. I've gone and found more of their songs since, so...
Nice. I like it when this happens on the Builders playlist, because I'll be honest with you, half the reason I did this is I just wanted an excuse to learn new music, and this is ideal. So lastly, Will Hahn suggests Karate by Babymetal. Here we go. I haven't actually jumped on the Babymetal bandwagon because musically, like, it's another one of those bands that I wouldn't get up to change it on the playlist. And actually, if I heard it, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, this is Babymetal, because it's so unique and so identifiable as this kind of subgenre of metal that's kawaii metal, right? But at the same time, I'm not overly bothered by them. However, I'm going to go off slightly on a tangent here. I do love how much hate they get though, because the types of guys who hate them, right, are the knuckle dragging Neanderthals of the metal fandom that I hate, and they're so butthurt over a band like Babymetal, and it makes me fucking laugh.
Thing different, scree.
I know, and they're so butthurt about it. And I like, you know, musically, I'm not the biggest Ozzy Osbourne fan, but I do like the fact that he came out in their defense and just said, you know, these girls are out there, they're performing, they're touring, they're working hard, and what are you knuckle draggers doing? You know, bitching from your armchair. Fucking well done. So I have a slight affection to them because they just take all the hate on the chin, and they're just like, whatever, guys, you knuckle draggers can do what you're gonna do. We're gonna carry on doing what we're going to do, and you can stay mad about it.
I, on the other hand, I bloody love Babymetal. I have done for a very long time. Really, really love them. Think they're fantastic. So I was all about having this. It's not the song I would have chosen to put forward for the Builders playlist, that's for certain. There's some songs that definitely hit a lot harder than Karate, but yeah,
Starlight is my favourite, actually. I'm not massively into them, but I do quite like Starlight, actually.
I am all about Papaya.
Yes, that is so your kind of song. Al, we've left you completely in the dark here. So sorry. What's your verdict on Babymetal?
That's all right. I got to put some lotion on my knuckles over here. No, so, I was, as we talked earlier, I was surprised to hear that they get hate. I mean, I'm as old school as it gets, I think, and you'd probably agree with that. I don't have any problem with them. I wish I understood the language so I could understand the vocals. Musically, I guess this is newer. Again, I don't have any other CDs or anything, and I don't really follow them, but I always get a kick out of them when they come across, you know, my Pandora or something. This seems to me slightly less power metal than maybe some of their old songs, but I think it's a good compliment to the other two songs, actually, because this would be maybe an in-between Dream Theater and the band that I still can't pronounce, the last song. But yeah, I think it's kind of a good mix, and it never quite slows down too much for me. And it does, you know, have some good power metal riffs in it, which I like. And again, some of their older stuff, I always thought, like, wow, this is pretty good straight power metal. And then the vocals come in, and I'm like, what?
Yes, that's what I like about them. You just kind of go, what is this? But it's fun. It's got an energy to it, though, hasn't it? It's like, even though, like, musically, it doesn't really do that much for me, I'm still having a good time listening to them, actually. It's like, I don't know why, but I am. They're having fun. I'm having fun. It's
similar to when I tell people about Ailstorm. I dare you to listen to them and not smile.
Right.
That's the way I feel about them. And the only thing is, when watching these videos, I keep waiting for Charles to jump out in his Maiku outfit.
Love it. Actually, funnily enough, bringing these guys up makes me want to touch on a subject, because funnily, it's one of the reasons why I really try to avoid metal fandoms, is because it's so much gatekeeping in it sometimes, and it's from these same types of guys that hate the likes of Babymetal, because how dare some women play some music that they like and they're enjoying performing. You know, it really annoys me, because it's a shame, because metal and rock and alternative music has kind of always supposed to have been inclusive. And you might be old school, Al, but the reason you're not what I would call one of these knuckle draggers is because just because you don't like something, you don't try and take away somebody else's enjoyment of it. And I've noticed that a lot of the motivation for the hatred towards Babymetal, I mean, besides the obvious misogyny, is that, oh, they can't be a real metal band because they were manufactured and somebody else wrote their songs. And this is something that I just really hate in the alternative music scene, actually, because so what if this band has their songs written for them? They're still that genre, whether you like it or not, right? Just... why are you trying to take away somebody else's enjoyment of something? Rara, right? Our generation, how many people, their gateway band into the alternative music world was Linkin Park, for example?
A lot of people, their gateway in was Linkin Park, because it was just huge. When it happened, it was huge.
They were, right? I will throw my hands up and admit I am one of them. And this, funnily enough, this is why it became one of my bugbears, because when I think I got into them when I was about sort of 12, 13, maybe. and I had some friends who were into them, and we went and saw them live, and it was cool. And then a couple of years later, and I started meeting more people in the alternative music scene, and that's when I started to come across these gatekeepers who were like, oh, well,
Yeah.
my gateway band into the alternate music world was this obscure band that nobody's ever heard of. And it's like, well, mate, there's a reason for that, you know? Why are you trying to spoil somebody else's enjoyment of it? Why are you judging me because Linkin Park was my gateway to alternative music? Like,
Yeah.
isn't it just cool that some more people are into alternative music and more people are finding shit that they enjoy?
I've had a really weird, bizarrely similar experience. The fact that my parents are both, they're super punks. Like, I was brought up on stuff like the Dead Kennedys and things like that. You know, Rage Against the Machine, the Dead Kennedys, No Effects, etc.
Mm.
Proper punk. And when I started getting into the punk scene and the sort of rock scene, I always got told, "Oh, you're too young to like those bands. Those bands are from before you. You can't like those bands." And that always really threw me as well. Like, oh, you're young, so you have to like the newer bands. Stop telling people how to live their life, maybe.
Right. I mean, I think I come from a fortunate position because my dad, for example, brought me up on a lot of soft rock. A lot of it I hated, but a lot of it I did quite like as well. I loved Queen, I loved Susie Quattro, I loved T-Rex, but then a lot of stuff he showed me as well I hated. Alternatively, my mum was bringing me up on classical music and her favourite radio station of golden oldies, which was Capital Gold, which rare, I know you're going to know of that, but Al isn't.
Yeah.
For the American listeners, that is a UK radio station that plays golden oldies. But at the same time, so I had a dad that was bringing me up on rock, a mum that was bringing me up on golden oldies and classical music, and I was also massively into the Spice Girls, age 10 or whatever. And you know what? My parents just let me get on with it. I enjoyed all of them, and I didn't have the fun sucked out of it. And I've got a bugbear for these fun sponges in the alternative music world. Like, so what if Babymetal's manufactured? So what if Linkin Park was manufactured? Like, so what? Who cares? Stop trying to take
Why
away
does
people's
why does
enjoyment
that
of it.
why does that change how the music is? You
Right?
can't dislike a band because of stupid things like that. If you don't like their music, fair enough. Like, I've shown Babymetal to some people and they've gone, "This is not my jam," and I've gone, "That's okay, that's fine." But
Right,
no one's ever
literally the
gone
same.
like, "Oh, I really like this music, but because of this stupid, weird, nitpicky reason, I'm not going to like them now."
Right. And you know what? People are entitled to those opinions, but the line gets drawn when they start trying to shove their opinion down others' throats. Like, if you don't want to like a band because of that petty reason, I mean, you know what? Whatever. Knock yourself out. That's your jam. But the moment you start telling other people they shouldn't enjoy something because of that petty reason, like, no, that's where you draw the line for me, and you
Yeah.
need to shut up. Right. So I've completely gone off on a tangent on this week's Builders playlist. Al's fallen asleep.
No, I'm here. I have one comment to add, comment, anecdote, whatever. If you ever go to an Iron Maiden show, one of the most amazing things you will take away from it is the multi-generations that you will see at the show.
Mm.
You will see people older than me, and you will see people my age, and then you will see people my age with their kids all at the same show.
Mm.
And I just think that is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know what other genre of metal and how many other bands can say that.
This is very true. And you know what? They're a band that doesn't do it for me personally either. I'm not a Maiden fan. I'll go ahead and admit that. But am I going to try and take away other people's enjoyment of it for my own reasons? No, I'm not. I'm sorry. It's something I've wanted to rant about for a while because I'm a fan of metal, but and alternate music in general. But I've always been fairly quiet about it because I loathe the fandom of it sometimes because of this gatekeeping and stuff. And it's just, or, you know, the genre snobs as well, who are like, oh, this isn't black metal. This is, in fact, death metal. And, just get over yourself, mate. Jog on.
I can be that too. But it's not so much that one is better than the other, but I think I've become pretty good at telling you where that genre falls. It's gotten way more difficult now because now there's been a lot of blending, and I think even in the songs we talked about today, there has been they all blend together at some point. And if everybody's doing straight power metal or straight, true metal, it gets boring.
And also, can we just remember to enjoy the music? That's what I'd like. The $1 million question, Al, because I've completely gone off on a tangent with my little rant there, is Babymetal going on the Builders playlist?
Oh, of course.
Yes. Brilliant.
No. Rare is very happy. I'm quite happy too, just because again I'm a troll, and Al is a troll, so I feel like Al can appreciate the troll aspect of this here. I love winding up the knuckle draggers that hate on Babymetal. It's one of my favorite pastimes.
I'm still taken back by that. I didn't. Then again, I'm not very involved in the quote unquote fandom. Our group that we have, that's about it as far as commingling with other metal people.
Yes, Al, a little while ago, started a Facebook group in which builders of BattleBots could share metal with each other. And it is one of the few generic metal groups that I have actually joined. And that is literally because there is none of that gatekeeping within that group. It's kind of like it's a nice little closed community where I'm getting some great music, but I'm not at the whim of the knuckle draggers and the fun sponges. So it's lovely. I do like your group. But I've completely gone off on a tangent, and this has been a very long Builders playlist. I'm afraid I'm going to have to get rid of you two. I'm very sorry.
No, I don't want to go back in the box.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Rusty's there now because he's not in the top 32.
He is in spirit.
Hail, Rusty.
Hail, Rusty.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's the end of the Builders playlist. Do keep dropping your suggestions on the Builders playlist thread on Robot Wars Shunt Posting Facebook group. And on that note, Rara, sorry, gotta get rid of you. Bye. Bye. You too, Al. Sorry, off you go.
Hail Hydra.
Bye. Right, I've got rid of those guys quickly. Dale, come back quick.
Oh, hi. Hello. How are you?
Hello. Right, so I sort of ranted a little bit on the Builders playlist, so we haven't got long. So quickly, meme of the week.
Yes. I'm going to go with Sean Fenton's dog carrying a stick, P1, SME balance, same energy thing. That one.
I can't disagree with you there. Tom Wisniewski's Thanos SME was also very entertaining, but I have to admit the entry by Sean Fenton with P1 holding up Smee and the same energy as a small little dog carrying a massive stick, which that made me laugh. Well done, Sean.
Well done.
Congrats, well done. You get the meme of the week. And the Farouk-alicious Award, I think we are actually going to be able to do one this week because we got a lovely little bit of Britishness out of Farouk this time. So as Brits, we'll give the Farouk Award for that, and we'll gloss over the fact that I'm still very disappointed at the tombstoning.
Yes.
So congratulations, Beta. You're out of the top 32, but you got one final award. You got the Farouk-alicious Award for episode 11.
Yes.
Won't do you any good against Verts, but never mind. There we go, ladies and gentlebots. That's the end of the Shuntcast. So it's goodbye from Dale.
Bye-bye.
And it's goodbye from the Queen. Goodbye.